Okay, our Google Hangout has started, so I'm going to start our Coffee of the Principal, and thank you all for showing up and coming. It's not as well advertised as it has been in the past, but I'm glad to see you here, and I'm glad for everybody who's online. And I have a lot of things I'm going to go through today, and then I'll take any questions. Don't know exactly how I'm going to take the questions online because usually someone text them to me. So if someone out there can text them to me, knows my everybody has my number anyway, you can text it to me and I'll answer any questions that may come up. So I wanted to first start off thanking Susan Leslie and all the parents who did the amazing, I think we did 9 plus the whole day of tours, admissions tours, and pretty amazing to do all those tours and have all those parents come and help out, and all the students help out, the student ambassadors. And we finished our last one yesterday. Yay! Very happy to be done with admission season. So the admissions applications are due no later than January 1st. So if you have any friends that are planning on applying, make sure they get their application in by then, because we will close it completely offline after that. So I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Current students do not need to reapply. I know that comes up every year. You're here 6 through 12. And if you do have a sibling, though, their sibling needs to apply. And we do have a sibling policy, just to remind everyone. Once one student is in, the others come in. I also wanted to thank, I have a lot of thanks today, right after Thanksgiving and before our winter break. I have a lot of things to be thankful for. And one of the things is all of our health. We've had a number of health issues in our faculty and in our students. And I'm very grateful for my health, but also I'm sending our good thoughts to Miss Tell, who is still quite ill. And we don't know her prognosis at this time, but just send your good thoughts to her, and hopefully she'll be doing better soon. Obviously, we had to cancel the winter concert, but I have to say Ms. Fernandez, one of our teachers, and Susan Leslie and Bonnie Zane kind of came together and had this idea for Gala's Got Talent, and we're going to have a show on the last day of school from 1 to 4 where the girls can actually, or 1 to 3, where the girls can actually show their talent. So our dance production will do their dances there, which will be great, and our a cappella choir will do some singing, and then we're holding auditions for the other slots, and those we started them yesterday, and we'll hold them this week. So the girls are really excited, and we have all sorts of different things that they're auditioning for. I think there's even some stand-up, which would be really interesting. So we'll see what it looks like, but I'm just so grateful that people step in when things happen. And it was a big disappointment. I know to a lot of the girls not to have the dance concert, but knowing that we have something in its place is really kind of amazing and nice. And it's amazing that people jump in like that when we have issues. So I'm grateful to our parents for always kind of seeing that and jumping in and making it just a great experience for our girls. And speaking of great experiences, we have some field trips coming up. I know you probably saw in the newsletter. So we have a 6th grade field trip to the aquarium in Long Beach, which we're really excited about. I wish I could go, but I'm not able to go to that one. And the 6th grade is going to Descanso Gardens on the 7th. So the 7th grade is on the 6th, I believe. I may have these dates wrong. So tomorrow's the 6th graders, okay. And then there's also going to be a special Girls Build LA field trip on the 15th. We're really excited that our girls have been invited to a speech by Hillary Clinton. So we're very excited about that. So leadership and the 2 Girls Build LA teams are going to go. And then we have some additional slots, which we are going to have girls write an essay for. So we want to make sure that they know what they're going to, and that they are interested in leadership in order to attend that. And that will be coming out in the next day or so to the girls. We'll make an announcement. We're getting into final exams, final grades, and testing. And I just wanted to lower the anxiety level for the middle school. We are mostly doing final exams so that they get an experience with final exams before they matter as they do in high school. In high school, a final exam really is a culminating exam for the semester, and it's getting them in the mindset of college, because college, sometimes a final exam can count for half your grade. So we're trying to get them in the mindset that that would be something that they'd be expected to do, and that counts for a good portion of their grade. And, you know, again, with a standards-based grading school, it doesn't count as much as it might with other schools. But it is important. They need to study. They need to rest. They need to, you know, make sure that they're getting food beforehand. We will have breakfast in the classroom before we have the exams that day, and then we'll culminate those days with lunch. So it's 2 finals a day with a break in between, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. So that's beginning our final exam season. And I would just say, as parents, you know, make sure that girls are understanding that, you know, they should study, they should be prepared, but this isn't the end of the world if they don't do well. So just do the best they can, especially in middle school, and not to be too anxious about it. We've taught them about breathing in and breathing out, and, you know, having relaxation and mindfulness. So, you know, just tell them to use those skills and not to be too anxious about it. Our final grades for the semester will probably be sent to you over winter break. As teachers will finish their grading the final week of school. And so you should get those grades fairly soon. Any high school student who has a D or fail in a A through G requirement will be required to take that over again right away. We'll be doing online courses for them so that they can take it over, and they will not have a 7th period elective. They'll be working on their classes. I've already told all the girls this, so they know they need to make sure that they're bringing those grades up if they weren't doing well. We want to make sure that they graduate and they have the chance to go on to college, so we can't have anything below a C in those A through G classes. Let's see, what else do I have to tell you? Well, we have a food drive. That was just kind of a brainstorm of the Food Science Club. It's a lunchtime club, and they decided they want to do a food drive for, I can't remember where they're taking the food, but it's one of the missions. And so they'll, there's some boxes around campus if anyone wants to help contribute, bring in cans, non-perishable items. And then Lost and Found. We have quite a few items still in Lost and Found, and at the end of the semester, we will donate those. So please make sure you check the Lost and Found for your child's items. There's a ton of water bottles, like a whole box full of water bottles. There's a box full of lunch boxes. There is a lot of sweatshirts and t-shirts. Please check those boxes before the end of break, because we will give those away. It takes up a lot of room, and we want to open those drawers up so we don't have to do that anymore. So it's all, the Lost and Found is always outside our office every morning. So if you want to come in and take a look or have your child go look. And then just a reminder, please put labels in their clothing, because once we see a label of a name, we can take it to them. Might even be good now that you put their grade level and first and last name, because we have a lot of the same first names in our school, some popular names for different time periods. And then, we have some exciting news that we got. We've gotten a lot of grants recently. We got a grant from the Women's Giving Circle for microscopes for our biology and chemistry classes, which we're super excited about. Those are on order right now, and we can't wait to get them. And then we had 3 other grants. 2 were family giving grants, and 1 was a donation. 1 was for a robotics program, 1 was for technology, and 1 was to fund our Level Up Village project, which will start next semester. Really excited, because that's a fairly expensive but very important project for us. And the Folk Gala annual give is going strong this year. If you want to have a tax deductible donation before the end of the school year, I'd recommend that we be the charity that, Folk Gala be the charity that you give to. So if you can give, if you even just can give a little bit, 100% donation looks really good for our grant writing. Our grant writing committee is continuing ongoing writing grants, and we've been really happy that we've been successful, but we have a lot to fundraise for next year. I would like to have a second counselor, and that's not a position that we will be given by the district. I'd like to make sure our class size stays low. And that's also not a given by the district. So we have a lot of positions to fund for next year, and those are expensive items. So if you can give, great. If you know, if you're part of a company that does matching funds, make sure that the matching fund happens, and help us to make this just an amazing school. It's already amazing, but it'll be even better with more personnel and more help. And one of my big priorities for next year is a music teacher, and the following year an art teacher, because I want the girls to have that STEAM experience, even though we're STEM school. So the arts are so important. Let's see if there's anything else I can see. Oh, I wanted to mention that there will be some schedule changes next semester. Most of the girls will talk up to them about that next week, and we'll inform parents. Very minor, but every semester you do have changes. One that you could definitely know is anybody in 9th grade who's in speech will go to health, and anyone who is in health will go to speech, because those are our only semester classes. Everyone else will pretty much be in the same classes, except for the 6th grade wheel, which continues every 10 weeks to change. But we may have 1 or 2 other changes, and we'll definitely let you know and let the students know before the end of the semester. A lot of people have asked about the 7th period elective. That's a year-long elective. So the girls knew that, and the parents signed off on that when we first got the elective forms. There may be some little movement based on, different things with teachers or that kind of thing. But certainly a student could talk to a teacher and say, can I leave this elective, and talk to the other teacher and say, can I come to that elective? There's not enough room to do a lot of changing, but if there's just a certain very particular need to make that change, that can happen. And then I want to congratulate our CIF, first CIF year of sports. Our tennis team ended their season really well, and they're a growing team. It's going to just do even better next year. And our CIF basketball has played 2 games now, won 1 and lost 1, so we're kind of even. And I have a home game, I think it's this week on Thursday. Our home game is at Queen Anne, so we're really excited about our CIF sports, and it's kind of giving us a whole school spirit. And we're actually going to have a pep rally this week, our very first pep rally. So student government's organizing a nice pep rally for the basketball girls. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be really fun for them. And that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me? And I have, like I said, I have my phone, so if anybody wants to text me questions, I can look. So far, none.
I do
Yes.
have a question in regards to the finals. You said for the middle school, it still counts as a grade.
It definitely counts as part of their grade, but it's not as important as for the high school, and as they go into college for college. But for it's definitely going to count for middle school. Some teachers are looking at it as a way to see what they have learned this year, and figure out, oh, I need to kind of remind them of certain standards next semester when we come back. So some are kind of more for the teacher than the students, and then others, the teachers are grading at different levels. It's really up to the teacher to decide what they're going to do at the finals.
Okay. And then for that week, they get out minimum day, right?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be minimum day. Monday and Friday will be regular day.
So would they be able to stay after school?
Oh, great question. Yes. So we're going to be, we get out at 12:30 those days, because we want them to have lunch before they leave. And then they can stay be on the bell till 6 those days.
Thank
I
you.
was tilted down a little. How's that? Let's tilt it a little bit.
Thank you, Veronica. I'm not paying attention to that at all.
For the talent show that you're having on Friday, so the girls are going to be here at school during that time,
Right.
and then they're going to be let out at 3:15.
At 3:15. Yeah. So what we'll do is they'll be in classes until I believe 1:30. It might be 1:20, and then whatever class they're in, which will probably be their 7th period, will escort them with the teacher over to the auditorium, and then they'll be able to see the talent show until 3, and then we'll walk them back over here, and they'll go out the normal gates.
Okay. So they're going to get a chance to rehearse or anything, or?
I doubt that they'll have the dance company and the and the music class are rehearsing, but I don't think that we're gonna have time to rehearse. It's kind of more of just a fun event. It's not meant to be a big show. It's really for the girls, by the girls. So our auditorium only holds 300 and we have 340 students. We're hoping we're gonna, be able to have everybody in. I already know there's a couple of students that'll be absent, although we hope that there won't be any because it's our ADA, which is part of our way we fund the school. So we'd rather not have people leave early. They're already getting 3 weeks. So I think, kind of better to have them here in school on Friday. Other questions? I think I might have gotten a text question. Let's see. We're in the works, not quite there yet, but in the works, just so you know, is so our school goes all the way through 12th grade, and typically at the end of middle school, there's a middle school culmination. Never really liked that idea because it feels like it takes away from the high school culmination, which to me is like high school graduation is a really big deal. So I've never really liked that at middle school. So we're thinking of ways to kind of do something, but not make it a huge deal. So that's kind of like you're now moving from 8th to 9th grade. We have some time to figure this out. But one of the things we thought about was doing a ceremony where the 9th grade welcomes the 8th grade into high school, which I think is really great because we do have a big sister, little sister program. It's kind of been at a lull this year, but we're going to start it back up again next semester. So that's one idea. And then in the works is a trip to Washington, D.C. for the 8th grade, a week trip over spring break in the spring of 2019. I think that will be. So it's a ways away, but I just wanted to mention it so you start thinking about this would be not something the school could fund because it's pretty expensive, but just, to think about. And as soon as we know more, we'll put information out there for 8th grade. But we thought that might be kind of a cool culminating trip. And for those who can afford it, it gives us a lot of time to save that money. And then also we may have some help, some grants to help with that. So wanted to mention that. Thank you, Susan. Susan sent me that text. Any other texts? Are you getting any questions?
But also the lead time for fundraising, like personal
Right.
fundraising or like maybe as a school.
And also for student fundraising. I know this particular trip has a whole student fundraising part of it. And so, as student, that's why we kind of want to think about it before break, because as students are getting, $5 here, $10 here from aunts or uncles, they might want to, think about saving that for their 8th grade trip. And then after that for their college education. Which, by the way, colleges do like to see that students have started their own savings account and have a little bit of money in that. It shows that they have start putting money aside for college early on. So I would usually recommend that in 9th grade. To start their own savings account with their parents signing off, and then they start putting just a little bit of money. If they make any money over the summers, to start putting a little bit of that away so that when they ask for financial aid, they say, look, I'm trying, I'm saving as much as I can as a student, and I would like to get help with that. So, yes.
This is probably a premature question, but, which mine tend to be. Are you thinking, or is the school thinking that the 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C. is going to be an annual?
Yes,
trip?
yes, definitely. Yeah, it will be become one of our rituals. So one of the great things about being a new school is we can kind of start developing our own rituals and our own ways of doing things like graduation, which I'm already starting to think about. We do have 10th graders, so we need to start planning ahead for that. But college signing day, those kinds of things that we can have as rituals for our school. And I will definitely need parent help for that, for all of that. So if you come up with ideas, I said in my tour yesterday, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if you come up with an idea, most likely I'm going to say yes, because, let's try it. Let's go for it. Let's make it happen. Especially because I have so many amazing involved parents. So
For the high schoolers, do they do dances or anything?
They will be doing definitely a prom, and then we'll figure out what other dances. The student government's working on that right now. But yeah, we're definitely going to do at least one dance in the in a prom. But typically, normally at high schools you'll have a homecoming dance, and that's around football. So we have to design our own homecoming. Is it going to be around basketball, or is it going to be around nothing? What's it going to be around? And I'm leaving that right now to student government, but I'm sure they're going to reach out for help. And then we also need to find schools that we are going to partner with. Right now, Bala is only 6th and 7th grade, so it hasn't quite reached high school yet. But there is a couple of all-boys school in the area that might want to partner with us for dance. So. Other
I have
questions?
one more question too. I was thinking that maybe in the future, maybe this time is a little too late, but maybe to have the girls like be a little bit more involved with the community as far as like maybe like the homeless, or have them maybe decide what they would like to do, like a non-funding fundraiser where they
Right.
can collect like maybe like to like during this time that it's cold to provide like maybe like gloves or like scarves or something. Like
That's a great
those.
idea, especially there was a knitting club last year, and I think they knitted, I think scarves for homeless. And then this year we have the food science club that's collecting the food. I like to have them come up with those ideas because then they're much more genuine than as
Right.
adults we tell them.
Yeah.
So it's much more heartfelt and much more genuine. In their, I think it's in their 10th grade world history class, they have a service learning component, and that's not necessarily about community service. It's about looking for some kind of way they can affect change in their community, and it might be writing letters to someone. It might be giving a presentation in front of city council. It's a bunch of different things that they can get involved in. But I like having that lens. But again, as they're growing up, they need to start finding their own passion in that area. We certainly encourage, them to be involved in community things, and some of our curriculum lends really, really well with that. So,
I have a question. I'm not sure if we are in the minority here, but with respect to mathematics, we came from the Glendale district.
Mhm.
So my daughter is in regular math, but I feel that she's not challenged. What I hear is that the advanced class is saturated. There's too many kids. Is there another options for the girls so they can be challenged?
that's a longer discussion that I'd have to have with you offline, because there's differentiation that goes on within the classroom in most of our classrooms, and most of our teachers send home newsletters that have extra work that the girls can do. So again, we're moving these girls into independent learning, which is so important. 6th grade, not so much, but 7th and beyond, it's independent learning. So if they are not challenging themselves with the extra work the teacher is giving, which all of our teachers give, then that's a conversation to have with the child and the parent and the teacher. It's not a general policy. I mean, we have a policy that they differentiate within the classroom, and our teachers are really good at differentiating and seeing where someone needs to be pushed and where someone needs to get extra help. So it is more, if it's a particular case with a student, we can definitely talk about it offline. Other questions? I'm not getting any more text. Oh, wait. Nope, no more text. That was the one I already got.
Talking about mathematics, how long should it take a child to do their math homework?
It depends on the grade level.
Like 6th grade?
6th grade, I wouldn't expect more than half an hour, 40 minutes at the most. I remember they have 2 nights to do their homework. But if they seem to be spending a really long time on homework, it would be something that they could come to office hours. All our teachers do office hours at least 1 day, sometimes 2 days a week. And they should themselves go to office hours and say, this is the problem I'm having with this particular problem. What is not helpful for teachers or students is to say, I can't do this, right? Because we're a yet school, so it's, I can't do this yet. But it's also identifying where in the problem we're having issues. Is it that your actual computation is not happening? Is it that you don't understand the concept at all? You don't understand the order of operations? Where it's good for the girls, and in conversation with the parents, to try to identify where they're having the problem. So that if you're a parent and your daughter is saying, I don't understand this at all, it's time to sit down with them and go, okay, show me, tell me, where are you having the problem? Because it's really important for them to self-identify where they're having an issue in a class. Or like the case you're saying, if they're feeling like they're not challenged, let's look at your homework. Have you done all the problems? Have you done them all correctly? How are you challenging yourself with the extra problems? Because it's very easy to make that blanket statement. So you as a parent coming in, especially with middle school, and helping them become independent learners is really important. 6th grade, they're just barely getting that skill. We're moving them second semester a lot more along the way. 7th grade, it's a little bit of a shock because we are much more like, parents, we love you. We want you to be involved in your child's life, but it's now time for them to start identifying their issues educationally and coming and getting help because they know us and they trust us, and they should be able to start coming to us. And then if you need help with that, let us know. We'll sit down together as a team to help you help your child and help your child help themselves. Because that's the way they will be in college. They're going to be doing everything on their own, including all their finances. So, and by the way, I'm really excited because we had Operation Hope and some banking professionals come into our 9th and 10th grade advisories and do a financial literacy program. They're on their 8th session, I think, this week. And they'll do 2 more before the end of the semester. So if you have a 9th or 10th grader, ask them what they're learning, because I didn't know a lot of the things that the banking professionals are saying. I'm like, oh, okay, now I know. So it's very, very helpful information for them. And especially when we think about them getting scholarships and how they're going to manage that money. Some of them will get so much scholarship money that they'll have over the amount that they need for college. So, okay, what do you take first? Obviously books, because books are quite expensive. Although now you can rent books, which is kind of interesting, or you can do them online, which is, there are all sorts of different ways you can go about that. So any other questions for me? Great. And then now we're going to have the Fogala meeting. Do you want to continue online so that everyone can hear you? And here is Veronica, our president. Well, if you have any general comments, say that, and then we can turn it off. How's that?
Okay.
Any general announcements?
Any general announcements? Thank you, Liz. Chipotle fundraiser is today, so I hope everybody can partake and enjoy not having to make dinner tonight. So from 3:30 to 9 o'clock. Let's see, we have C's Candies. The form should be turned in by tomorrow. Great gift ideas.
And where do they turn this in? To their advisory teacher? Or?
Advisory teacher. That would be great. And the advisory teacher will get them to the main office.
Did you bring some extra?
We have some in the office.
There's a bunch of them.
And then also, I believe.
Is there any way
somebody-
I can just give it to you?
Absolutely, yep. And then also, I think you can print it online also. I think it's on Facebook and maybe via emails also. And that's it. Did you guys, I'm sorry, I came in late. Did you guys talk about the book fair?
No, I totally forgot to mention that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Okay, so just to keep a heads up that we will be having a book fair the last week before the break. It will be Monday through Thursday. We're looking at lunchtime to the end of school, maybe with some morning hours, but we're going to see Lauren Cole. Thank you, Lauren, for organizing that for us. Very excited. So coming for that. And that's it.
And it's a fundraiser.
And it's a fundraiser. We need the money and you guys need the books. Okay.
Bye. Bye.
What are you guys setting up for the book fair?